We've been working
My name is May Hong. I am the speaking voice of Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is Moana Nui podcast. Signing off. Happy fans. Do it with me. Happy fans. Happy Hon.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an all new, all different, all inclusive season of Blerdkast Live. And tonight we are doing content creators in nerdy spaces. And I am happy to be joined by some of probably my favorite content creators in nerdy spaces. Some of my favorite TikTokers, definitely. The gang. I'm just calling them the gang. But before we introduce them, I would like to introduce my moderator for the evening, Miss Joy Stevens. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you, Marc. Glad to be here as always. Happy to be your moderator. We're going to jump right in. As a matter of fact, it's a new year. And as you said, we're here to do bigger and better stuff in 2026. And we're going to start off for all the people that watch this channel. If you're watching, subscribe, become a member, you know the drill. But all the people watching this channel, a lot of us are in these nerdy spaces. And over the last, we'll call it, honestly, over the last 40 to 50 years, we're going to say the last 10, we've seen a proliferation of content creators doing different things. And so what we're doing today is talking to some of our favorite content creators, friends of the show, the homies, like you said, the crew, to discuss, how this comes about for people that are interested in being content creators and understanding that world, that genre, that industry. And then just break it down like what it really is. We're going to get into all those things this evening. So we'll start off with a little quick introduction. I am going to go by what I see on my screen. And I think Michaela, I'm sorry about pronouncing.
Michaela.
You're up first.
Awesome. So my name is Michaela. I am the creator behind the page Make That Magic. It is Make That Magic everywhere. I have been in content creation now for 3 years, and this is my first year going full time. I focus on nostalgic television, film, and Broadway, and I just make sure that anybody who is new to anything understands that life is not that serious, and you can try and watch anything that you want to watch, and you should not feel judged. That's what I do.
I love that. Watch what you want and don't feel judged. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Unbalanced Minds, for subscribing to the show. Next up, if we do like a snake pattern, we have my eyes are bad. I'm trying to see. Old Man Food and Anime.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Trey, or Old Man Food and Anime on TikTok. I've been creating content for about 3 years. And I just really do it for the conversations and to show people that you can be Black and proud and wear your nerd flag on your sleeve and still be cool as well. Like, growing up, I was always the kid that I like Dragon Ball Z, but I was on the basketball team too. So I wanted to show people that, hey, wear that flag proud.
Love it. Love it. Next up, we got Phil.
Oh, right. Yeah. My name is Philip, but I got my Phil. My handle is the Blerd Explorer. So it's kind of a combination of things. Two things I like to choose: travel and also do Black nerd stuff like gaming, anime, fighting game particularly, and also geeked up history too. Also a big history fan as well. My content was basically created back while I was living in South Korea from 2016 until 2025. Originally, my handle was the Minority Traveler, but then I rebranded it back in 2018, 2019 to the Blerd Explorer.
Okay. Hi, Lavender Bunny. Welcome. Next up, we have the Husky Hokage, or the Huskage, as I saw somebody call you. Please introduce yourself.
What's going on? I am the Husky Hokage, also known as Marcus. I am a gaming content creator. Stream. I try to bring positive conversations to just the gaming community and industry. It's okay to have that discourse, keep everything respectful, but like I said, we want to have good positive conversation. Because, like I said, games are for everybody, and as long as you're having fun with what you're playing, that's all that matters.
Awesome. And last but not least, down here at the bottom, we have the Supreme Attorney. Please introduce yourself.
I'm the Supreme Attorney. I started my TikTok page maybe 2 years ago, back in 2023. The whole reason I started my page is because I needed to learn how to talk in front of people. So I was like, TikTok. And then I'm also on Instagram and YouTube as the Supreme Attorney. And yes, I am a real attorney.
That's important. She is actually, in fact, a real attorney. I'll in the context of what we're doing tonight, I'll introduce myself. So I'm Joy Stevens, also known as Joyride08 on most platforms where you can find me. And I have been producing or being a part of internet content since as far back as, I'm going to say, 2008. Yeah. I'm an OG myself up in here because earlier I said, content creators, like I said, like 30, 40 years, but maybe the last 8. And you're like, internet ain't been around that long. Hold that thought. But when Facebook got big around 2008, I started blogging. And I had a very popular blog called Joy's Rant List, which turned into being a feature on a radio show that I used to do called 3 Degrees of Separation on iHeartRadio with Larry and Andre. And I won't say more about that because they are in government now. So anyway, we'll just leave it at that. Then I went on to Thoughts and Moments Radio. And then I still currently do a political podcast on Thursday nights called Steel, Sharp, and Steel with another HBCU grad. You'll see him on the HBCU show, as a matter of fact. So I stay talking. Matter of fact, I talk for a living because I do workshops, public speaking, and all that kind of stuff. And so when we talk about content creation, this is a new iteration of what it looks like to create content. You could call musicians, you could call poets, writers, graffiti artists, all of that is content creation. But the way that we digest it is new based on, the advent of TikTok. And I remember back in the day, funny story, and then I promise I'll let other people talk. YouTube, when it first got started, was around 1997, 8, somewhere in there. And it was just kind of a place for people to just put stuff and store videos. Nobody else really bothered to watch them until the video that caused YouTube to blow up almost overnight and made it into what it is today. You know who you have to thank for that? Janet freaking Jackson. You know why? Because her video of the whole debacle, the wardrobe malfunction, where her and Justin Timberlake became the single most watched thing ever in the history of people because it was on YouTube. Somebody recorded and put it out there, and it made people pay attention. And next thing you know, everybody's on YouTube. So in a way, you can thank Janet Jackson for Issa Rae because Issa Rae got famous doing Awkward Black Girl on YouTube, which turned into at some point who she is now, all because of a nip slip. Who knew?
I love that.
So what we want to talk about, we got a lot of things to cover tonight, but what I want to start with is what made you decide, you know what, I want to be out here in the public, getting dragged on the internet like everybody else, because you always get the haters. We'll talk about the haters in a minute, but what made you decide that this was what you wanted to do as far as having a channel or being on an internet content creator?
All right, I guess I'll take the lead on this one since everyone's being so quiet tonight. But
I didn't know if we were being called on or what.
Right.
All right, but for me, like Angie said in her intro, she needed to learn how to talk to people. I felt like I needed some kind of form of therapy, I guess. And for me, working on cameras and photography and things like that was just a form of just releasing pent up energy and things like that. Plus, I like talking about nerdy stuff. So when I started my channel, I just started reviewing cons and whatever content I could, and learning very quickly the SEO train is trying to chase the algorithm and SEO, and like something came out on Thursday, you got to get your episode out by Saturday or else it's old news by Sunday. Learned that very quickly. I don't like doing that, so I had to figure something else out, which led to me taking my camera with me to cons. I'm like, I'm already going to cons doing cosplay photography. Let me just start practicing video and learning how to edit and things like that. So I started filming what I was doing at cons, filming my photo shoots and things like that, and just talking with people. And I was like, hey, my channel is called Blerdography. Why not take that to its literal definition, the Black nerd and the ography part of it, and create my channel to be a platform where I put my camera in nerdy people's faces of the diaspora and talk about their struggles and what it's like to be nerdy and a person of color, or to be nerdy and Black, to be cosplaying while Black, and what those experiences are. And I started building, unbeknownst to me, a community, an audience around that, of people who really gravitated towards that content, because for the longest time, a lot of us grew up being picked on even by our own people because we were into nerdy things, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, all that stuff, and people had a story to tell. And the more I do this, the more I'm realizing there's still people in the year of our Lord 2026 who don't know that Black nerds exist, that it's okay for us to be Black and nerdy.
Before you go further, I want to make sure we got one more person on screen, and I wanted to give him a chance to introduce himself before we go too much farther. So Charles, please let the people know who you are, besides late.
Yes. Yeah, super late. I'm so sorry, you guys.
Just don't let it happen again.
I know. I'm so sorry. Gee, okay.
Oh my God.
So I'm sorry. I'm Charles Henry. I'm just a fellow Blerd. Got on TikTok. Really, after my divorce or during my separation, was just making content for the sake of just creating humor to kind of fight depression, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Marc did something similar about being therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't even really trying to go viral, but I ended up doing it quite a few times, and it was just a fun, and still is a fun and creative way of expression, and that's really it. Like I never really intended for much of anything, but I mean it's fun, and in doing so, I became a part of this Blerd community. I became a part of something that was much bigger than I ever thought it could ever be. One of my greatest joys is meeting fellow Blerds, going to cons, running into you guys, and just embracing the entire thing. Like, I just became a cosplayer last year. Stop it. Yeah, my first cosplay was Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's fun, and it's a creative outlet, and I respect the craft of it, and I respect the people in it. Always been, of course I nerd out over Sonic the Hedgehog. Anybody who knows me knows that I got the Sonic and Knuckles hoodie, and but that's just always been my thing. I am an anime dude, but I'm not the biggest anime dude. I'm more of a retro gamer. But yeah, I don't know what else to say.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. I find it interesting. Like, a lot so far, we've heard. I've done several things different ways. I started my blog just because I was mad. I was mad about something somebody said to me, and I decided to write about it. And I decided to call it Joy's Rantless, which became like an ongoing. I want to say I was doing it on like a weekly or monthly basis for a while, and then I got bored with that. I went to do something else. But this idea of I need to let out what I got inside in some kind of way. And Michaela, I see you nodding your head, and you do say full-time creator over here. So talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I was listening to everyone speak, and it's so funny. A lot of what I am learning, I'm still new to. I've never gone to a con. I've never even thought about like attending. I don't want to say costume. Is that inappropriate or?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I never even thought about it because I'm still just like understanding the entire space. Like when I actually started content, and even in high school, I was actually like, I was not bullied. I was not the nerd. I was not that. I was the kid who was like popular but bullied the bullies. So when I saw
I know that chick.
bullied,
Yep.
I would ruin their lives. That was me. I was hacking into the system and making it so that you can't go to prom. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, you're the warrior. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So and one of the things that pissed me off is because I was watching the things that they were getting bullied about. And it was stuff I was like, that's dumb. It's okay if they like anime. It's okay if they are watching Twilight Zone. I watch Twilight Zone. I don't watch anime, but that doesn't mean that they're weird. And I remember being like visibly upset about it. And my mom was like, you can't ruin people's grades because they're they're bullying somebody. That's not cool. And I was like, I just don't think that it's cool that they're doing this. So I'm going to continue to do what I want to do. But it's so funny that that's where I started, just like as a student. And then as I progressed through adulthood, I was in the entertainment industry for 8 years, at Live Nation for 8, at Johnson & Johnson for 3, a total of 11 years as an event planner and a marketer in entertainment. And I've seen everything backstage. I have watched all of your favorite celebrities and all your favorite singers and the way that they act on stage and the way that they act in person. And I was like, something in my brain was like, if you ever become that, don't be the ones that you're ashamed of. Don't be the ones that you're disappointed in.
Yeah.
And so when I decided to step into being a content creator, it wasn't even something that I thought I would be able to do full time. It was actually because after working at Johnson & Johnson for 3 years during the pandemic, I became essentially depressed because of what I was experiencing there. And my therapist was like, I'm sorry, but during the session, I got to laugh because your ass is funny. And I'm just really trying to figure out how I can not laugh at you, but also give you advice. And I really think that you should take the metaphors and stuff that you use in these sessions and put it out for people to know, like, hey, there are people who don't look like you, but feel like you. There are people who may not be in the same bracket as you, but think the same way that you do. So I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I started making videos. I started talking about villains that had a point. I started doing Twilight Zone breakdowns. And I branched out and just made sure that any space that I was like, you know what? I don't see a lot of Black women talking about this. I talked about it because I liked it. And in 3 years, I'm now at 650,000 followers across 4 platforms.
Wow.
Full time as of November, working with the Olympics, worked with Wicked, worked with Universal, worked with Disney. And thank you. And I'm so blessed, but I'm blessed because people like Marc were some of the first folks that were like, yo, I think your content is so good and I appreciate it. And when people tell me that they appreciate something, I'm like, all right, that's who I'm doing it for. It's not the money, even though I appreciate that. I love a good check.
Yes.
But when people DM me and they're like, I watch your stuff from hospice with my mom. I watch your stuff while I'm getting my chemo treatments. That's why I'm doing it. So being a full-time creator is not a creator for me. It's me actually helping people. It's me putting good into the world because of what we are experiencing in our country. So that's my story.
It's a great story.
Thank you.
And so 650,000 followers across all platforms is an amazing accomplishment. Like, was there any moment where maybe something went viral or you had access or exposure to something that made that jump up like that?
I think I started in September of 2022. By May of 23, I had 10,000 followers. Okay. And I think that 10,000 came from specifically Disney stuff, but my villains that had a point series. Because once again, what am I talking about? People who were bullied that shouldn't have been. Yeah. Ursula, Maleficent, the Grinch, Thanos. Okay, well, no, not Thanos.
Yeah.
But, you know, like,
you get a point though.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, well, he wanted to get rid of half of y'all should go. But I'm talking about things that people are like, I've never seen a Black girl that looks like that talk about this in a way that's entertaining. And that's also educated, because one thing they're going to do is look at me and be like, oh, she's uneducated. Baby, I have a degree from Howard University and I'm an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman. Don't ever play with me. So I used the good sense that I got from that, but also matched it with comedy. And I think that took me to 10,000, but me being consistent and branching out, doing the Twilight Zones, doing Star Wars, because I had never seen that before, and doing Wicked. Wicked is what actually tipped me over the 500 because that got me into the Broadway space. And that's a tight-knit group. But I broke into it. And once Cynthia Erivo and John knew me, I said, that's it. I'm in. I got it. So, like I said, I'm blessed. I'm just so grateful for the community and the way that y'all have taken me in, because we know how the experience can be sometimes. So I've not experienced that. And Marc is one of the first people that I remember that followed me. And that's why when he asked me to do this, I said, absolutely, not a problem.
That is amazing.
That is amazing. James, can you bring up that one of those last comments? We need more Black women in nerdy spaces. I agree to that so much. That's why, like, Joy and Angie, like, I work so hard and like trying to make sure that y'all voices get heard over even my own, because like I feel like Black women are the key pillars to society in all of humanity, and without y'all, there will be no society. So we need more of y'all everywhere. So just
we literally the salt of the earth, the seasoning, and everything.
I need some of y'all guys in the nerd spaces to shut up when they start talking. That's what I need. Because
in the words of Kendrick Lamar, let's give the women a break.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just have because I was having a conversation with some of my friends about this the other day about how, you know, we get, you know, women in those spaces or women that's trying to get into those spaces where like we so quick to be why are you here, or why are you, some of us are so quick to be like, why are you here, or how you like this, or why are you liking this specific thing. Like I was talking, we was interviewing one of this cosplayer, her name is Amari Senpai, but we were interviewing her and she was like, she loves Assassin's Creed games. And like she was at a con somewhere and she was doing something and a guy asked her, oh, you only buying it because you think such and such is hot? And she was like, what? Like Assassin's Creed games are not for, like, the guy went on about something, but like for us men that are in those spaces and we're so quick to be like, you like it because of this reason. No matter what reason they like it, the fact that they like it, you can have a conversation with them about it and grow from that, like a good conversation.
Right.
I really dislike when they have those, you know, have that when we try to gatekeep certain spaces like that. But yeah,
I had that conversation with a guy, and this was wow. This had to be when Street Fighter was like still 8 characters. But he was like, you only playing because you like.
Everybody laughed at that, and I don't understand. Hold on, you're gonna have to fill me in. How many characters they got now?
Okay, so
it's a bunch. It's a bunch.
When Street Fighter first came out, it was like an arcade game where you went to the arcade with a quarter.
It's a quarter on the counter.
I'll be 52 in February, so I'm like the old head on here as well.
Okay.
But when I was young, you know, you went to the arcade. They didn't. This was before Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
So you went to arcade to play, and I remember this guy telling me once, you only play with Street Fighter because you think I want to say Ken or Ryu, one of the guys that had like a sleeveless muscle shirt on. You just
Ryu or Ken,
right. And I was like, first of all, I'm Chun-Li all day because she was the one that had the thick thighs and the muscles.
That's a fact.
Of Black people in the games. Chun-Li was as close as we got. She had the thighs and that dress on. I was like, that's gonna be me forever. But I also
regular Asian woman. But go ahead.
I also noticed that he played only Chun-Li. I was like, so if you're saying this about me, what does that say about you when you only play her?
Exactly.
Right. Shouldn't have to prove yourself to be in that space.
And as they said in the comments, it's like over 30 characters now, because as the game got bigger, year after year, they'd add more people and new locations. And so now, when I say, you know, Street Fighter had 8 characters, that was like the original old school Gen X version of it. You know?
Okay. Gotcha.
But thank you for
my husband downstairs laughing at me because he knows the Street Fighter characters. And I was like, how many? I hear him bust out laughing.
It was a good question.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree. We definitely need more Black women in nerdy spaces. At the same time, we need to call out the behavior. And a lot of times we see nerdy men, also can happen white men too, but usually because particularly with Black men, nerdy Black men, it's usually, if you check back then in childhood, it's usually because of what happened back in middle school, high school, college, whatever happened, right? It's usually back in those days, of course, back then, of course, before anime popped off, if you get caught watching anime being nerdy, you got made fun of for that. Now, most folks will realize, okay, yes, it was bad, but we were kids, we were young and dumb. I would take it back if I could. But as usually most people get over, like, hey, that happened when I was a kid. Things have changed as an adult, but some people just never got over it. So that's why when you hear those stories about women, particularly Black women, trying to meet other guys, other Black nerdy men who was like, hey, I'm into such and such comic books, and that one guy is like, oh yeah, really? Name what volume did this happen?
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's usually because of that one instance being called corny, lame, or that one girl he had a crush on back in middle school that rejected him for being too nerdy, too white. And so that's why that's why he what I do mine from Fresh and Fit be lashing out at women because of what happened back in those days.
Unhealed trauma.
One of the reasons why I even started my page and got into the space was because I saw a lane for positivity. Like all of the people that I followed on, well, not even followed on TikTok, but I saw on TikTok that made anime content. It was about debating and power scaling or arguing, and I was like, I don't want to be that person. I want to be the guy that has a all positive channel. So like I started making videos with that in mind, and I just slowly built a community where like my whole community is positive. Like you mentioned about someone with a heart disease on your page. I had the same story. Somebody reached out to me, and it was a simple question I posted. It was just like, who's your favorite underdog in anime? And this person made this whole video about having heart disease and how her family wasn't. I wrote that person offline, was like, this is why I make content. People with this kind of story, because that's the kind of stuff that pushes me. I like being positive in the space, and that's Black women, Black men, whoever. Be you, be yourself, be unapologetic about it too. Like that's my thing.
Thanks all day. And that's same for me. Someone who, like, I love everything. I'm a big Blerd, no matter, I love everything, but my focus is gaming. And with me being, I see a lot in the gaming space like now where it's always a conversation. Like one of my biggest things is there are no good games out or stuff like that. And people jumping on, it's like, bruh, like game ain't even came out. Y'all already trashing the game because it don't look like this. And it's like, or we got those people where you can't, if you play this kind of game, you're not a real gamer. Like there's no hierarchy to gaming. Like they're like you guys, it's like just because you play only RPGs, like 100-hour RPGs, and this person plays cozy games, that doesn't make them any less of a gamer than you are. Like it's all here for you to have fun and enjoy and share your experience or talk about your experience with other people that play that same game. But that doesn't take away from somebody who decides to play. They don't like to play cozy games, or they don't like to play shooters. They don't like to play sports games. Nothing wrong with that. Like I did a video the other day about, because one of the big conversations right now is they call them ball and gun gamers, people who only play sports and shooting games. Yeah. And I was making a conversation the other day about how sports games like Madden, 2K, MLB have all become RPG lights because of the stuff you can do in those games, especially when you do your careers. You in there, you change, you can scan your face, you can add your skills, your stats, all the stuff that go on. It's basically an RPG just in mode. Like it's like that. I like to flip the narrative of certain things to either uplift it or change it to a positive way and have a different conversation about it, but in a positive manner. Like gaming, like I said, gaming is fun and it should be for everyone. Like no matter what you play, whether you play mobile games, whether you play old school computer games, whatever, you're still a gamer, no matter what it is, no matter what you're playing.
Yeah. I think, Phil, we haven't heard from you. So something you wanted to add?
Sure. So, like I said before, I really started doing a travel blog. A lot of people who moved to South Korea back in the 2010s and before, we make travel blogs about living in Korea. And when I switched over to the Blerd Explore content, I was on IG for a while, uploading pictures, travel pictures. For me, since I did Black travel related content, I talk about that because a lot of times, growing up, I've always had the interest in watching travel channels, seeing all the foods from other places around the world. But a lot of times we watch travel channels usually from a white dude perspective, right? From a white person perspective, and maybe for a lot of y'all agree with this when I say this. So growing up black, right? A lot of times I never seen or heard of black people traveling overseas. If they did, almost 99% of the time they're in the military, active or a veteran, like almost always. And so in 2020, during lockdown, and while I was at home on furlough, I basically wrote my very first book called The Black Traveler's Guide to Incheon, South Korea, which is a city about an hour some change away from Seoul, and I was living there at the time. And I was thought about, hey, writing a book, why not? Because a lot of times when I see now back in 2020, like I did see a more uptick of like more black travel content.
Yeah,
But it's still pretty minor. We can use still more black travel people's perspective, and so I wrote my next book called The Black Traveler's Guide to Daegu, South Korea, which was like another major city in Korea, in 2021. And that also, and both of the books did pretty well. So I figured, hey, let's do a big old black travel guide book for South Korea. Now my book, it's not going to be similar to what's his name, Victor Hugo Green's Negro Moa's Green Book. It's like where that was more survival, more like more of a fun-based book. And that's what I'm doing now for South Korea, and also writing for Thailand, which is coming out. And both books are coming out in March this year, so in a few weeks.
perfect timing.
I know, right?
I'm going to Korea in May, so I will take your book with me. Yeah.
But another time when I got into TikTok back in, I want to say 2021, 2022, this is during the era when like everybody was on TikTok. Like, and I was one of the people like, no, I'm never going to get on TikTok. But then I just one day I'm like, all right, I'm bored, download it, and start doing it. And one of my content again, because I want to do more black travel related content in South Korea because you don't see a whole lot of it. And also want to talk, talking about my other, nerdy stuff that I'm into, like anime, gaming, Pokemon, fighting games, and stuff like that. And again, I just want to give more perspective of that because a lot of times you need a more positive representation of black nerds. Because a lot of times, especially when it comes to nerdy black men, like I said, we talked about it before, it's not usually the best reputation because a lot of those nerdy men have that stigma because of what happened in the past. And when you see more nerdy women, especially when Meg Thee Stallion came out, started getting popular earlier, and she's cosplaying anime, and everybody's trying to think like, oh, she's not real anime, she's a pose. I'm like, bro, she's cosplaying Death the Kid Jr. from Soul Eater. She's a real one.
right.
Like when I saw that, I'm like,
deep in the culture.
Yeah, no, she's real. She's one of us. That's a mid popular 2000s anime. Like if you cosplay that, you're a real one.
I want to talk about that really quickly. Across all the spaces, whether it's cosplay or gaming or nerd culture or Star Wars or Star Trek, whatever, the idea of you're a real one. Not disparaging or like trying to comfort you for what you said, but I think there's levels to everything. You're into it, you're really into it. Wow, I think you invented it, but then there's an ability to enjoy it at every level. Like if I saw somebody that did a cell by cell perfect replication of a costume from a particular chapter of Marvel Comics, I'd be like, yo, you a real one, because of the time and dedication you took for it. But I can see somebody out there with an Amazon costume on, that everybody else has, and they're still just as much of a fan, maybe not as in depth, but just as much of a fan. And so one of the things I want to ask you all, everybody, about is what is your particular, I'm gonna say kink because I like that word. What's your kink? Like, Hokage, you said you're mainly a gamer. I know that. Oh, you know what? That'll be our next question. What is it like being a black content creator? We're gonna start with the one I already asked. Like, what are you into? So, especially I haven't heard from everyone. So, what is your nerd thing, if you have one?
Retro gaming.
Retro gaming. So you talking ColecoVision, Atari, or Nintendo?
Sega.
I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you like I tell everybody else. Mario in Nintendo made me like gaming. Sonic made me love it.
I'm with you. Sonic made me skip class.
Yeah. Sonic made me love it. The attitude, the physics, it was different. It was the perfect answer at the time to what Nintendo was trying to do. And to be honest, if it didn't go the way it went, he could have took Nintendo out. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Sonic would have been that dude. But I mean, yeah, for me, it's retro game, and I was one of those kids. You know, I love Street Fighter to this day. I used to love Mortal Kombat more at one point, but I think I kind of grew out of the spectacle of the gore.
Yeah,
and I think that's what drew me back to Street Fighter. But yeah, I'm just a retro gamer. I was that kid who was always in the arcades.
Whoever got next. Yeah.
Whoever got next. I was in Blockbuster for all the youngsters listening.
Come on, Blockbuster.
I was at Blockbuster.
Getting VHS tapes. Yeah.
Vitamins.
Yeah. I was at Blockbuster.
I feel attacked.
Renting the games.
Don't feel attacked.
Almost every other Friday, you know.
Yeah.
Man, what?
Man, it was fun, man. We ride our bikes to. I remember when the Dreamcast came out, and before I owned one, we parked our bikes. Me and my cousin parked our bikes outside of Blockbuster to go inside to play a sample of Power Stone, and it's still to this day one of my favorite fighting games of all time.
Absolutely.
I had to repurchase it when they released it on Switch. But anyway, we went inside, played Power Stone, came outside. His bike was stolen. I'll never forget.
Oh, no.
Listen, how did I know that this is where that store was going?
I was wondering why you talking about like parking the bikes. But yeah.
Oh, shoot. I had to ride him back home. He was on my little cousin was on my back crying. I was like, it's gonna be all right, dog. I didn't know it was
he knew his mom somebody was gonna beat his butt for losing.
Man, listen.
So okay, what about the rest of y'all? We'll go to your level mate over here, Supreme Attorney. What's your niche? What are you into?
Anime and hot guys.
That tracks.
Hey, straightforward. Let's go.
Sounds about right. Phoenix, right?
And I also like cars too. People don't know that. Love cars.
Yeah, you brought all those things together, as a matter of fact, because you got your car wrapped with anime characters.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And a hot guy, Phoenix Attorney.
There you go.
How did you find anime, or how did it find you?
That was when I was super young, because back in my day, it was on MTV. So it was like Ion Flux and Ghost in the Shell, huh? So it got me, and then my cousin had me reading comic books from France, and I was like, "Ooh!" And it just clicked.
Okay, there you go. Okay, what about you, Phil?
I love Initial D.
Ooh, man, definitely. My geek is definitely fighting games for sure. Let me go fighting game. I got into Street Fighter. I think my first one was Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2. Of course, Mortal Kombat, Tekken 3 at a friend's house. I was a Nintendo kid, so I had Instant Score. Like you said, Power Stone 2 was definitely one of my favorites all time. I still need to play the port that came out on the Switch. That's still on the backlog to play. And of course, Super Smash Bros. I would say Super Smash Bros. Definitely where I geek out the most of the fighting games for sure. And like many people back in college, if you ever went to college in America, you knew somebody who had a Switch or a Wii at the time, or a GameCube, whatever it may be. I played Super Smash Bros. And I got into tournaments because while in college too, because I would do weekly Smash Bros. Tournaments, and I would make the top ranks. Of course, I'll lose because I ain't got the time or patience to actually really commit to learning the mechanics, because hey, I got life, I got other stuff to do. Right? The same thing with other fighting games here. Can I commit to hours of training? Yes, but hey, I got to teach. I got work to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Pokemon too. Definitely Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which I really got more into while I was living in South Korea, and I actually participated in the official Pokemon VGC tournaments. Oh, I got my butts kicked most of the time, but hey, I went out swinging.
Yeah, there you go.
You tried.
And yes, many of the Korean players were intimidated by me when they saw me. That was when they're playing against me.
Why were they intimidated?
Think about it. In Korea, you guys, 6'7", dark-skinned black man in Asia.
Easily a foot taller than everybody else.
Exactly.
What does that have to do with skill with Pokemon?
Yeah, again, intimidation factor. It's the fact that he's that tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Asia.
All black
Tall,
guy.
You must know how to game.
No, it's just the intimidation factor. Listen, I'm just saying I can understand for some people, you know, they yeah.
Listen, let's just say I made a kid to cry when he ran away from me.
Oh,
For
Yeah,
playing
true story. This is in
Pokemon?
Korea. No. This is like when I was at a
He's
job
walking.
at school.
I mean, you tall in the States,
Yeah.
so I know you tall in Korea.
Yeah.
Like these are just sick and funny games. I mean, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So, Old Man Food and Anime, I see it in your title, but tell us what you're into.
Yeah, anime is food and anime is definitely my thing. I'm gonna watch.
What's your favorite food?
I'm gonna watch Beat Bobby Play, but I'm also like I've been watching anime since I was young, like 10, 11 years old when it was on Toonami. Specifically Yu Yu Hakushow.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, that's why I started.
Yu Yu Hakushow is my favorite of all time, so that's kind of how my page got started. I'm a Yusuke Urameshi stan.
Nice.
And then it just developed into me watching everything, and people give me recommendations on my page. So that's my thing. Anime has always been my thing, but I'm just nerdy. I like Marvel. I like gaming. Last of Us 2 is one of my favorite video games ever. Like I do it all. So but anime is my niche.
I got you. I feel you on that. It's interesting y'all talk about like Toonami, or Adult Swim to some extent, and I hear people say like Toonami, and I grew up on that. I was like, yo, I had an apartment and a job when I was watching Toonami. Like when I remember being on a business trip and watching Dragon Ball Z on Toonami like late at night. I was probably the oldest person out there watching, but this is a type of thing where you're never too old to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, studies are coming out now that show that having an obsession or a hobby or things like that, especially if it's one that encourages a hand-eye coordination like video games, can help stave off things like dementia and Alzheimer's. So I'm going to ball till I fall as far as I'm concerned. But I interrupted the flow, so I'm going to get back into, I think, Hokage, did you get a chance to tell us what you were into?
Everything. It's hard to focus on one, but my niche is gaming. I love gaming, and I will people talk about sports gamers, but listen, I will play a sport. Like I love sports games to like no other. RPGs are probably my favorite, but sports games are right there. I'm gonna play MLB just about every year. College football, like now, I used to do FIFA just about every year. But good RPGs and almost anything with a good story, like you'll get me with a good story, and that stems from my love of movies. Like when I was growing up, I was my mom's only child, so I was like, a lot of kids were either older than me or either like younger than me. So I didn't have a whole lot of people that play with around my age when I was growing up. So a lot of times, and mom kind of sheltered me, stayed in the hood. So I was in the house a lot. So she kept me with games and movies. So listen, games and movies to this day, like I can name like certain actors. People like, how you remember? Watching movies and playing games is what I was doing growing up for the most part of it. Like I eventually got out there, did other stuff, football and stuff like that. But games and movies to this day, listen, I'll have a game on one screen, and I'll have a movie or something going on another screen while I'm playing the game. Like
same.
That's
that's
it.
Gaming.
That's it.
Planet Hollywood. Oh wow, that took it back.
The Hollywood video.
Oh man, the amount of times renting games on Friday night. Ooh.
I'm listening to y'all, and I love y'all's niches. And I'm realizing, I'm like, I don't think that I have a specific niche of like, okay, I'd say that I do nostalgic television, film, and breakdown. That's for brands that want to hire me. But in general, I'm like, I think that my actual niche, I call myself a griot, where I'm a storyteller. My job is to listen to things, interpret them in my voice and in my culture, and then reiterate them and tell people like, okay, this is what actually, because I said, when I watched Star Wars, I said, this is a Tyler Perry play in space. This is ghetto. Like there's so much going on. And
much better waves.
Yeah. Much
Although Princess Leia did look like something Tyler Perry would
Much
have
better. And so I remember
The
being
guns are
like,
iconic.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
like actually talking
That's the
about
first
it
time
and
I've heard that.
reiterating it. And I was like, that's the Star Wars was the first time I was like, okay, this is a thing where I am able to translate a story to people who may not ever be interested in it and bring them in where they're like, damn, now I gotta go watch 7 Star Wars movies. And I see it all the time. Paramount Plus owe me so much money because people tell me all the time, I watch Twilight Zone because of you. I've literally purchased Paramount Plus because of you. And I'm like,
Hey, I need that Crunchyroll sponsorship too.
Yeah, people don't want to watch it because it's black and white. It's not because it's not good. It's because they look at it, it's unappealing, and they're like, I don't want to see this. But when I come with my vocabulary, kind of like my grandma, telling you, hey, this is what happened in this episode. Now you're like, nah, I gotta see it because that is what Sinners had. That when I saw Sinners, I said, I am that character. I literally am the one that knows how to communicate with the past and the present and bring it together.
Yeah.
So I love all of y'all's niches, but it just made me realize I was like, wow, my niche is storytelling. Like that's it.
Listen, that's when you kept mentioning Twilight, and it finally clicked in my head. Like I've sat and watched your videos, just watching you because of the way you talk. Like, listen, no, I love it. Like, it was like you would think you was talking about one other thing. The guy that I can't remember this particular. I think the guy that's name was George or something like that. He thought he went to heaven and he was really in hell.
Yeah,
that one right there. And I'm sitting there looking, and the way you're like telling everything, you just talking. I'm like, bruh, this it right here.
So you watched what was it, As Told by Ginger episode because I read Dodie because she trash and people don't think about it. People watch it. Earlier said I don't think cartoons were made for kids; they were made for adults. Hey Arnold is an adult show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny is an adult show.
It's an adult
Simpsons
show.
is an adult show. Yeah.
Look at the theme of SpongeBob. SpongeBob is very adult.
Adult.
Yeah, especially in the first season, especially that one episode when SpongeBob's crashing out of Squidward because you're staying too long, becoming a freeloader. Like,
yes.
As a kid, you think it's like how funny it's like as an adult. I'm be like, yeah, I don't blame you. I would do the same thing too.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Funny enough. Speaking of Dodie, I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers talking about As Told by Ginger and how trash Dodie is. I'm like, maybe I should really watch As Told by Ginger.
You should rewatch As Told by Ginger.
Now, to be fair, as a kid, I'll admit, being a dumb kid, someone said the movie, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. It's a girl show. But like, look, I'm like, can't let the homies find that out. You know what I mean?
What was this? Kid to the Crazies.
Yeah.
Okay. SpongeBob is literally about being an adult with whimsy in a world that absolutely sucks, and I could not agree more.
You know what? That's actually true.
That's
100%.
I think because the fact that SpongeBob also actually has his hobbies that he keeps to himself and has fun with it. Like
like all of us, right?
Yeah.
Although we are keeping our hobbies to ourselves, we out here being content creators. Tell everybody and to get to it. And I would say, Makala, your it reminds what you're talking about, like taking something that like retro show and like explain to everybody why it holds up and why it's still good, and then reinvigorating interest in it. It reminds me of how, oh my God, I blanked on her name just that quick. Leslie Jones was doing Game of Thrones for a minute.
Yes,
I love that. I love that when she did that.
Yes,
she was.
And I think it short-lived because it was live streaming. So when the show was over, that was over. But you got so much more stuff to mine. And I think you get a little bit, because like she pretty much yelling at the screen, but it was funny to watch. And she had some good points from time to time. But I think the nuance and some of the analogies, some of the way that you talk about these things, to their point, makes everybody want to say, well, I might go watch that because I hadn't given it a chance because, like you said, it's in black and white. Or I haven't given it a chance because I didn't even know what it was about. Or it's corny, it's old. And you realize, as much as I hear people nowadays talk about, they couldn't make that today because X, Y, Z. Well, go watch what they made before, because it's still really good, And as far as being raised, I was raised on Atari and Saturday Night Live. So that is how you get this.
Yes.
Hey, listen,
I remember Richard Pryor being like the Richard Pryor episode that keeps going around the internet. I saw that live.
Oh, man.
I may have seen it. I was born in 74. I think it came out in like 75, but I remember seeing that on TV. and it was a mess. I remember seeing Mr.
I
Robin.
bet
Mhm.
Richard Pryor was a one of a kind. Like I just want to ask someone. I love comedians and love comedy. Like just growing up, a lot of my and I used to study comedians. Just watch. I've actually done it. Like I used to do stand up, but that's neither here nor there. But
didn't know that.
yeah, listen, that's a whole different. That's all life anyway. But like Richard Pryor was one of the ones I would sit and watch and just study. Like the man was like hilarious and just telling, and he was basically just talking and telling you like just life experiences and just how he did
Like
it.
you
Man,
said
it was
earlier,
just-
he's one of the best storytellers of all time.
Yes.
Yes.
The story about him having to get bathed after he had just been after he was in the hospital from being catching on fire. The story, telling that story about how he was getting ready. The man was like, "I'm gonna wash you, Rich," and kept coming back until the final day came, and as soon as he put that sponge on him, and it just was like like it felt like that. It's just classic, man. But and to circle back to your point, what you just said, Joy, about you brought up Leslie Jones, like we were just saying. Need more black women in nerdy spaces. They make everything better. Like this. Facts. Right?
I want to touch on something really quick. And Kid to Crazy, you're not talking too much, baby. You can say as much as you want. We like having you in our comments, right? Being engaged with the conversation. But I've heard some threads and I want to pick them apart around starting my blog or starting my content creation as a form of therapy, or I was feeling depressed and this helped me out. And then when we take it to the comedy, there is a best kept secret that a lot of comedians infuse their comedy with their own frustration, sadness, depression, et cetera. Like Richard Pryor, like Kevin Hart, believe it or not, as goofy as he is, Kevin Hart says a lot of things you'd be like, wow, that's messed up, but you made it funny. And a lot of them do that. And I wonder if that, I feel like they go hand in hand. And the reason we can be funny is because it is a form of a coping mechanism.
Yeah,
like it's kind of one of them things like the minute like a baby falls and it's okay. And then you laugh. You laugh at the kid, like, we're gonna call you Buck now because you lost a tooth. Or
I don't want to I don't want to get too deep with it, but like one thing being a black person, especially black man, black woman, we've always had to turn pain into laughter.
Absolutely,
it's something we've had to do our whole life, So I think it comes natural, and that's why you see some of the best storytellers and comedians like a Chappelle, like a even way back in the day, Red Fox, and all these guys that were great comedians. They turned that trauma that they were going through in real life into great stories.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny because it's serious. It's funny because it's true. And it's kind of a relief to find some light in all of the darkness that might be out there, Like we say, we all know collectively on the internet, we are the most unserious bunch. Let something happen. 24 hours later, we talking crazy about it,
Not even 24 hours. Unfortunately,
Hey,
while it's going on, I'm like,
and a whole group of folks gonna be mad about it.
Actually started to end. I said, I'm gonna have to sit on my porch, get some lemonade with liquor, and just look at my phone because I know it's gonna be the funniest day.
Yes.
Literally, this world could be blowing up, and we are gonna have something trending that makes us laugh.
Right.
Like that's just how it is.
Right. Like I remember there was a trend for a moment, like what would a Gen Z say during the apocalypse? Like, not me on fire.
Not me on fire.
That's low key accurate.
It's low key, right?
It's so funny you brought up that we as a community put like trauma and all that into jokes, the Joneses, because I'm writing next week's show, and that's part of it is, well, next week's show is Black People in Nerdy Spaces. Why do we make jokes about each other, and what does that mean as a whole for our community? Like, because if we joke about you, that means we're showing love and a level of respect or things like that. Like, yeah, it's funny stuff, but like that's just how we do, because as a community we've had to make fun of the situation around us, because or else the story of Black people in America is tragic. And if you can't laugh, find like the little joy in the pain, then you just got a lot of suffering to do. So I'm so happy that y'all brought that up.
It also, to me, is a form of, to your point, like acceptance. Like we see how terrible it is, and we could sit here and wallow in it, or we could just, crack on with life and make a couple of jokes about it, and continue on. And the jokes to me are a way of saying I am going to be okay. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story around like jokes and nicknames and playing it does and everything. I mentioned this; it's on my mind because I mentioned it earlier to a friend of mine. When I was in middle school, we had two different. I mean, it was mostly black, if not all black middle school. And we had two kids on my bus. One guy, one little boy. I don't know where he was from or whatever, but he had like long, wavy hair. Like it wasn't curly. It didn't even spiral. It was like straight off the Barbie doll, nice flowing waves down to his shoulders. He had this beautiful chocolate skin, and his name was Black Jesus. I don't know what his real name is to this day. We called him Black Jesus. And he answered to that.
And he answered.
He answered to that because it wasn't done hatefully. That's just who you look like. This is what we call you, Black Jesus. Right. And we enjoyed him. And I'm going to tell you one other one. I start with that one because this one sounds terrible when I tell you this boy was beloved. There was another little boy on my bus, and he at some point in his life had apparently gotten burned. So he had like burn marks over part of his face. Right. And his nickname was Crispy. Yes.
Now let me tell you something. Y'all are not gonna see the gates of heaven.
But no, but when I tell you, no, you gotta understand though, Crispy was fast as fuck. So when we were doing like relay races and everything, Crispy the first one to get picked, and people be like, "Go Crispy, go Crispy, go Crispy." He was a celebrity.
We ain't about to do this. We ain't about to do this.
I ain't gonna lie to you, but the way my brain works when you said this,
no one.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
No one ever spoke about him in a way that was pejorative. It was never meant to be insulting. I mean, and again, sometimes you lean into stuff because you don't have no choice. I don't know if he had a choice or not, but he was one of the most popular kids in middle school. Right, that was just his nickname. But it made it so that it was never, oh my God, what happened to him? Or let's, treat him with kid gloves. You one of us. You got a nickname, just like everybody else.
Else.
And it can feel, if you're outside the culture, it can feel mean. But when you're inside, you recognize that we're trying in our adolescent, rough way to let you know we see you the same way we see everybody else. Mm-hmm. I used to get roasted all the time. Yeah. Now, if you ask people to ease up and they don't, that's a different situation. Yeah.
That's when they come to me, and then I go to the principal's office and change their grades.
Yes.
That's what, there were levels to this.
And that's when you throw them hands as well at the same time after you change the grades.
Exactly.
That's one of the things we'll talk about you. We're not gonna let nobody else talk about you.
Nobody else.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I can talk about my short king friend, but you can talk about him like that.
Right.
Yeah, the man don't know you. We don't know you. Right. You can't come over here and do the same thing that we do. Listen, I'm a big proponent of that. Just because I call him this or I talk to him like this, we don't know you. You talk to him like this, we go whoop you. So I 100% agree.
It leans into a phenomenon that actually I heard Ta-Nehisi Coates talking about this once. When, of course, it starts with some girl in the audience trying to figure out why she couldn't say the N-word. We don't get into all of that. Clearly, she couldn't because you don't look like us. But he started with, you know what, when my wife and her friends are downstairs, when they little brunch drinks and whatnot, and I hear them say, come on, bitch, blah, 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 you the baddest bitch. I can't go downstairs and be like, hey, bitch, because I'm not in that group. They don't know me like that. And I'd be crazy to do that. If I'm walking down the street and my wife calls me honey, that's cool. But some other woman call me honey, now I'm in trouble because nobody else is supposed to have that that comfort and familiarity. And so he was speaking specifically about rappers and everything. But even with this, when you are in the group and you are beloved by the group, there's an understanding that the group is not going to say things to hurt you. And if it does hurt you, they should pull up. If they are really your friends, they'll pull up. They'll stop. Yep. But otherwise, it's just all fun and games. But let somebody who don't know you try to say something about you. We all throwing hands. And that's community, right? Yes. Those hands in particular. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joy, there was a question about how does it feel to be a Black creator? I would love to hear y'all's feelings on that as well. Because some of y'all have been doing this a lot longer than me. And I want to know how it has felt but like how it felt before the pandemic versus now. I want to know all the things.
I guess I can start. Since I'm technically a little bit newer to this, it has been interesting to see growing our content slowly but surely, especially at networking, at these cons, meet other Black creators too. I think for me, when I wrote my first 2 books, seeing that reaction, seeing that other Black people who were originally intimidated, scared to travel abroad, especially going to Korea, like they reached out to me and said, "Hey, thanks for making this book because it made me feel at ease. Like I can use this." You know what I mean? Now, again, my book is not meant to be like survival. Like you got to go to only these Black hotels, restaurants, blah, blah, blah. It's like just here's something I've been to. I recommend it. You check it out and you can go as a jump off point. The books are going to be meant for a jump off point. But again, just having people who also look at you, your same complexion, who also grew up going to the barber shop, asking Mama, I want the number 27. It says Mama says, no, you get the number 1 haircut. You know what I mean? Just having that, relatability. People, I guess, seeing that people actually like your content to say, hey, you're making me laugh, or just revive, have like actually good, legit conversations. It's just a really good feeling to have. And that's what kind of keeps you going, because you can have that. You may not see much, but like there's always going to be that one person who's watching you and may have like legit have a positive impact on it, on them. You may not know it.
That's a good point. You don't know who you're reaching.
Right. And I mean, and to answer his question real quick, for me, at least, anybody's welcome to come check out my content and follow me. But again, my content is going to be more towards Black folk, because we need more positive, like Black male representation who ain't near the red pill dudes. Especially as a teacher too. Like I'm a ESL teacher, but to work with other Black kids too in my classroom from time to time. So we still need to understand what it means to have that representation, like people who look like you, they can look up to.
What about the rest of you? Like, what does it feel like to be specifically a Black content creator?
It's fun. It's fun. It's more fun than I expected it to be.
You serious?
It's really interesting to use the things that I've enjoyed since childhood as an allegory for life lessons, or an allegory for I'll give you an example. We'll go back to Sonic the Hedgehog, my favorite, right? And Husky Hokage, I think we've had this conversation where I told you that Sonic is an allegory for freedom fighters. Like Sonic and his entire crew, right? Because what is Robotnik trying to do? He's capturing animals and turning them into robots. And when you look at the original definition for robot, it was slave, right? So he's literally capturing them, turning them into robots. And what is Sonic doing? He's freeing the animals. He's freeing the slaves.
I feel the same about Luffy.
Yeah, it's the same thing about Luffy. So he's literally him and his group of people, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, whatever, Shadow. As he goes along, he builds this team, and they all, as different as they are, there's a singular goal, which is freedom. It's always been about freedom. And I love that about Sonic. He literally, his whole personality matches his goal. Like the reason why, the whole thing about him being a speedster is he moves like the wind. He's literally, he's
coming in this piece.
Yeah, and I love it, man. I and it's something I didn't catch on to as a child. Like when you pay attention to the levels, each level in the game is telling the story. There's a reason why it starts off in a forest and it ends up in a factory. It's because Robotnik is slowly but surely taking over.
That's
it's
I had no idea
analyzed
Sonic had that storyline behind it. That's fantastic.
I was just trying to get the gold coins, but that's much better.
The rings, but
my bad rings.
That's another thing that Black folks like to play with, is getting the rings knocked out of you on the internet every time. And I'm here for it. The minute they gave us internet, we started messing around and making them like. I find it interesting that whenever something is really funny or viral, it's usually Black people in the clips in between of whatever it is that they're doing.
Laughing.
The faces. What did he say? You know,
Yeah.
bring it back. That's all us.
Yeah.
It's all us all the time. But I want to continue with the question. We got to we're behind, so we are a little behind because we're still on the question of how does it feel to be a Black cosplayer. Anybody else want to address that before we move to the next question?
I do. So I posted in a live chat that I did a video, or I posted a video, and after I posted that video, I got death threats from those people, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I've noticed something, and I don't mean to go to the negative thing, but it's just kind of like the realization I had as a content creator. There's a large disparity between like white content creators and Black content creators as far as like how the platforms and the algorithms and the communities treat the Black community. For example, on TikTok, because I posted a Black Cosplayers Rock video vlog from AWA, and it went super viral for me. It went super viral. Most of the comments and engagement was positive, but I got some people trying to be trolls or bad actors, keyboard warriors, saying all kinds of things outside their mouth, through their teeth, everything. And you know, I would go and report it and like, hey, this is harassment, this is hate speech, this is bullying. Literally getting death threats off of YouTube comments and TikTok comments, and I would go and report it and come back. They didn't violate any speech protocol or blah 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 community violations. But if I had said those things, it would have been instant ban. Because that's what happened to my original TikTok account. I went off on Trump after the election last January, and TikTok was like, "You don't have a platform no more. 2,000 followers gone." I was like, "All right, cool. Let's start this over again." So there's like this weirdness with how the technology we use interacts with us and our community and how we are like treated and portrayed online. Like, we are the comedians of the internet, whatever, but whenever we talk about any serious issues, we get silence.
It's intentional.
Trick it. You have to trick it. You can't. You have to act the way that our ancestors acted. Our ancestors were not walking around being like, all right, y'all, at 11 p.m., we are walking out that gate and we're going to leave. No, they had what? They had braided patterns in their head that told them what the routes were. They had specific plants that they would put in positions that told, okay, this is where this dog is going to be. This dog going to be in this place. You cannot actively say it in the way that we used to be able to say it. You have to find ways to manipulate the algorithm into thinking that you are telling stories, talking about something else, or use undertones that only humans would understand, because it's not TikTok, it is their system. The humans that work there will take it down immediately. And I know this. So you have to trick it. And that was one of the reasons I got into Twilight Zone. It's because I knew I could talk about social commentary and political things and things that were very hard to just talk about without getting flagged. So I do those episodes that talks about someone who, you know, went back to a Nazi camp because he used to be a soldier. I do those episodes and I never say the words, but the way that I navigate that story, everybody knows what I'm talking about. I've never gotten flagged for those. You may get like a copyright thing, like, hey, this is using an image, and you just do that when you know you can get away with that. But
I can see though what Marc is saying for a certain standpoints, and I do agree with you because like I don't breach those conversations a lot because of the way TikTok is filtered towards us directly. But I will say it is frustrating because just like what happened last week with the whole Aiden Ross and Doechii thing, they can come out and say whatever they want, however they want, and we have to code ours, and it kind of gets frustrating that we can't. And a lot of times, not even like I don't know a lot of just ultrally negative Black creators for the most part, but it seems to be if you're not Black, you're Aiden Ross, you're I don't know, all these new kids that are streamers,
Mhm.
they get paid for being overtly racist towards us, and they don't have to do
Listen.
anything. They don't get their accounts banned. They don't, you know.
Nope.
So I do understand where Mark is coming from with the frustration with platforms like this.
It's very frustrating. I watched so a couple of things came out like 2 years ago. Tales of Kanzarazao game, great story. The story in the game is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I'm
But
playing it
I
now.
watched a bunch of Anglo-Saxon YouTubers talk about the creator of the game. The creator of the game is black. He's British. I think he's Nigerian or what have you, but he's from British or whatever. He's an actor. Abu Bakar Salim. He's been in like Game of Thrones, this HBO show The Wolves, or whatever it's called. But anyway, it's from his studio. But I watched them talk about this man like a dog because he said he was telling the story why he made the game, what the game meant to him. He was making the game to honor his father and things, and they were just going off like on the video. I have a TikTok on it and everything, but it's like like you said, it's frustrating to watch. They can say whatever they want. They can call us this, do all that, and then nothing's happened. But soon if you report it, no, they didn't violate anything. Like I posted a video, posted on everything. And I normally don't post on Twitter, posted it to my Twitter, and it kind of just took off. And just some of the comments of people, because I was talking about the Game Awards, and I was talking about how South of Midnight, I felt like it was overlooked, like it didn't get nominated It didn't get nominated for the soundtrack. I wasn't expecting it to be nominated for Game of the Year because so many amazing games came out this year. But the soundtrack in South of Midnight was like top tier, and that should have at least been nominated for best soundtrack of the year. And I was just saying that, and so many people were, "Oh, here you go. This is it. The game wasn't good. It had this." I'm like, and it's like the comp from folks calling me N-word, just everything else, and it's like, yeah, I do my best not to look at, especially on Twitter. Like Twitter is just toxic anyway to me.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I don't look at my comments. Like my homeboy was like, he called me, he was like, "Man, this man said something." I said, "Bro, I appreciate you calling and telling me, and I appreciate you ready to go to war, but I'm not about to go back and forth with anybody, especially now." TikTok, if I got some time, I'll dive into it with you just a little bit. You get 2 replies. After that, I'm done.
It really ain't worth it, though. It ain't worth it.
It's not. That's why I say, if I got time, I got a little good day. I'm having a good day.
My block game is strong.
But yeah,
they're treating.
Also, beware. One of the other things I've started to notice is I follow a few like black female influencers. I don't know if they're content creators or not, but they just know the ones that always got something to say on Threads. And one of them responded to this guy who said something crazy. And I only saw the guy's post because she responded to it and I follow her. But he got under her skin and she was like, "Who do you think you are?" Blah, 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 blah. And I pointed out, I was like, the rest of his posts have 2 or 3 likes or comments. This one has 78 and you're at 1,000 likes for your comment. I said, he only did this to get your attention so you could get him some attention.
That's all they want is attention.
Yeah.
It's always
That's all they want is
who are
attention.
afraid. They're afraid to get in front of the camera themselves.
Yes.
They're treating South of Midnight the same exact way that the Academy treats sinners.
Right.
They're making it abundantly clear. They're making it abundantly clear that these are our heroes, not their heroes.
Right.
And they don't.
It's the full-time cycle of, we would say we want more representation, we want to be, blah, blah, blah. Go make your own stuff. Okay, then we did.
Yeah.
It's not in our it's not going to be in our awards ceremony because that's your Matter of fact, you can even tie it all the way back to the fact that up until I want to say after World War II, Black people couldn't even testify in court. So you get charged with something, you got a lawyer that hates you, a judge that hates you, a jury that hates you, and you can't even testify against a white person. So it's very similarly, white guys now, and I'm picking on white guys because white women do it too. Right now, will say something crazy online, and nobody wants to hear your side of it. It's the same thing. AI is racist because the people that made it were racist.
That made it is racist.
Yeah. That's why I've always hated the
absolutely
pull yourself up by your bootstraps argument, because we did that as Black people and you burnt the town down.
You burnt
You buried those pounds in the water.
No,
It was
So
never
don't
about
tell me
pulling
that.
ourselves up by our bootstrap. It was just
No.
pure
No,
ignorance.
Speaking of Lake
This,
Lanier,
this mediocre white man.
Lake Lanier just
This
one of
deep-
many.
Yeah,
I
then
know,
he-
I know.
Yeah, just
Like,
yeah.
you-
right.
all this is happening because they're afraid that deep down, a lot of these men, white men who do this racist shit, is because they're afraid that the white women are going to leave them for the brother. Like, that's it. Like, if that's all go back to is that insecurity, that fear of that a black person can surpass them.
Yeah.
And instead of like
Also,
maybe
what does-
taking
what
the
does
critique to learn
what does
how
that
to
Aiden
build
Ross
the
have to talk
struggles,
about
they'll
if
just
he-
blame it on a black person, like
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, a certain mustache man in Europe. Instead of taking his skills, say he was apparently he was a decent painter. Instead of learning from taking the critiques and learning to do better, do something else, no, he just blamed insert minority group
Yeah. Yeah.
for something we ain't done, and we ain't done nothing to him.
Never
Hold
have.
on.
Oh man, you were trying to say something. I think it got drowned out.
I was just
Yeah,
going
I'm
to say,
sorry.
like, once again, who pushes culture? Like, we are most of the culture. Hip hop is the most exported thing in the world. Most of the movies we go, if we support Black Panther, sold over $1 billion. Like, all this stuff, we push the culture. If we didn't have that culture, what is Aiden Ross going to talk about? What is these guys going to talk about?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he could have been talking about Taylor Swift's album, but he's talking about Doechii.
Right.
He even and that's another thing that really frustrated me about the whole Aiden Ross and Doechii thing is that he dissed her in the form of hip hop. You're using black culture to diss black culture, which just compounds.
Look at the people he invites to his chat.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
come on.
It's like those people that write racist raps, like
yeah, like yeah.
Tom McDonald.
And what's even worse, there's some black folk supposedly black, but there's some other people who still support Aiden Ross and whatnot.
Yep.
And I just say all skinfolk and kinfolk. So
that's
Harriet,
exactly
Harriet
why
couldn't take everybody on the
right.
That's why he feels comfortable saying what he's saying.
She left
He
some
feel
people
like he
behind on
got that
purpose.
pass,
Right.
because the house Negroes.
Right.
Who-
And I
who
promise you,
sit-
once
who
that
sit by
token
his
gets spent, man, just like every time when that token gets spent, they're gonna be sitting there like, what happened? Like you didn't think it was gonna happen to me. I thought it was gonna be safe. Like, no, I'm coming after you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z said you're still black, brother.
You know, yeah, right. That song is deep. And so, like I said, the podcast I do on Thursday nights is a political podcast, and we've been doing politics since Trump's first administration, if I'm not mistaken. We've been at it for a minute. And we were loud and raunchy and crazy, and we, it was the whole classy bougie ratchet show. Like, we all college educated HBCU grads with multiple degrees. Some of us were in journalism, some of us were in politics. I was coming with the diversity inclusion background. That was my part of the show, right, to bring the history to it. And this year, it's down to just two of us. It's been down to two of us for the last couple of years, but this year, every time we sign off, my partner would say his name. He's like, I'm Tom, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, and I'm Elma Barrera. I just started making up names or names I put from, I'm Barbara Walters. I'm not giving you my name on this. I recognize that people be out here shooting. And we have started to make it clear we're still doing this show. We're not going to stop doing this show, but we do understand that there's danger involved in this. And the more inadequate certain domestic violent people feel, the more they will act out that violence. When Trump first went in his first office, I knew at some point I was going to need a gun to protect me in my home, and I still have two. And that day is getting closer and closer. I got a bug out bag. I got a plan. I got some friends that live in different places. But like, all right, we're gonna come plant some stuff. We might start planting stuff next year or this year, just so the crops are already in good shape.
Next year.
Yep. But anyway, back to this Black content creators in nerdy spaces. We're gonna leave politics. We can't leave politics out of it because our lives are political. Anytime somebody else has a right to write a rule about the way you live your life is political. But moving away from it a little bit, I want to get into one other question, which is money. Marc loves to talk about adult money. And I do a lot of hosting. Like I host on here. I host on several things for Moana Nui podcast. I do the Blerdography stuff. I have my own podcast, etc. But I make my money by day. And so I'm interested for those of you that have monetized your content. How's that going for you? And how did you make that leap and like have the courage to leave that steady check behind? You know, talk to me.
Yeah, I think I started in 2022 not knowing that this is going to be what I did. And I actually I got engaged a month after I made my content, or I started to, do content. And it just so happened that I got monetized like 4 or 5 months after I got engaged. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to make this money on TikTok. I'll put it aside and that'll go towards, the wedding stuff. So I was actually like saving up money from that for the wedding. It happens that ended up contributing like a third of our wedding expenses. And so my now husband was like, yo, you ate that up. Like, that was pretty good. You should continue this. Like, make sure you still keep your content up, but for you now. And so when I started by 2024, I was like, okay, now I need to go back to, just being consistent and potentially getting brand deals. 2024 was the first year that I got a brand deal. And it was with Sony. And they wanted me to talk about the Jeffersons, and they had their 50th anniversary, and then the Sanford and Son had their like 40th anniversary or something. So I did that, and I was like, "Oh, you're paying me that for 30 seconds? Okay, this is cool. This is cool." Still, not even knowing, like now my rate would never be that low now, even for 30 seconds. But making $1,600 for 30 seconds back then, I was like, "Oh, this is like good money." So as I progressed and learned more about the business, took information and things from my own full-time position at Live Nation, and like learned like, okay, if we're paying our influencers this, my rate should be this. Understanding contracting, understanding what it means to be an 1099, contractor, and what that means for taxes, right? 2025 was the first year that I was like, I need to make this a business. So January 9th of 2025, I submitted to the USPTO my trademark license. I was like, I need to trademark Make That Magic. That way, if somebody trying me, I can hit them with the book, because that's what everybody does, right? Everybody, they hit you with that book, cease and desist, take it down. So I did that. I made my business account, through a bank. I got a financial advisor. I got a CPA. And I was like, all right, this is going to be the year that I'm like, if I go full time by 2027, I'm good. This is 2025. But my brain was telling me like, yeah, no, you good. Like, just keep going. By June of 2025, it was at the point where I was making more money than my full-time job. And I was like, I looked at my husband and he was like, so you about to just continue to work 2 full-time jobs, 9 to 5, 6 to 1, and be exhausted? Like, is that what you're going to do? And I was like, you think I can do it? He's like, yeah, you've been doing it for 3 years. I go full-time November. I tell my job in September, while I'm in LA doing something for Wicked, I tell my boss, hey, not going to be returning for the 2026 season. Love y'all down. Live Nation's been good to me. Got to go. And she was like, not a problem. Let me see what I can do, if I can get you through the end of the year, or if they're going to make me cut you, sooner. They end up telling me on October, I will never forget, it was October like 1st or 2nd. They're like, hey, November 1st is your last day. I said, okay. Because I'm like, I'm not about to panic, baby. I saved a lot. And I got, I'm good. And the next day, Universal's like, can you be in New York for 3 days for the Wicked premiere? I'm like, yeah, I sure can. Yeah. And so it all just started to just trickle down, where it was like, you are wasting money by working here.
Yes.
And when I started to realize that, I said, yeah, I'm actually good. And I left, and I have since then quadrupled what I made in 2024 in 3 months.
That's awesome.
And it's because I stayed true to myself, but I listened to myself, and I worked my ass off. And I made sure my content was clean and it sounded good and it looked good. And it was things that people would want to listen to when they were feeling bad or good. And so now literally as a business, I have admin days and I have filming days and I have days where I rest, right? But the money comes in, it ebbs, it flows, but it is very consistent for me still.
I love that, man. That is freaking awesome. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Does anybody else have reached the monetization level or looking at things like that?
I've reached the monetization level, but I am not quitting my day job
Just yet.
level yet. I'm still trying to get the consistent bare minimum of YouTube requirements down, but it's getting there. There are things you can do once you have a monetized YouTube channel that can bring in revenue outside of AdSense. Like, for example, just a funny story. I just launched the Blerdography store, which should be in the channel description. If you want to get merch with my logos and stuff on it, go for it. But I was talking with a friend of mine who was kind of motivating me to do stuff like this, and he's been doing it for a year and hasn't made a sale. I made my first sale today. Just because I have a community around me that actually supports me and wants to see me succeed. So I'm at like the beginning of where Make That Magic is, with getting to the point to where, okay, I don't need to go to work and watch TV all night and then come home and then edit videos all day and wash, rinse, repeat 7 days a week anymore. I can focus on one thing and just be successful. So we'll see in about a year or so where that's gonna go. But I need to definitely have the money in the bank.
Nice. What about the rest of y'all? Supreme Attorney, I know you got a day job. You're a whole lawyer over there.
Yeah, no, it's not monetized. It's my de-stressor. It's my, do I know the law? Because I do as your favorite anime character going to jail, and I use Georgia law.
Yeah.
So it's my way of just making sure I know the law, because a lot of my clients, they're like, oh, you must have just graduated law school, and they quiz the hell out of me. And sometimes I'm like, am I a lawyer? Like, what is happening? Does this happen to everybody?
No, actually.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's a different show. We can talk about that. I can talk about that forever. But yeah, I feel yeah, my constant there's a constant resistance in me to bring y'all down a rabbit hole of death and destruction in Black history at any given moment. There's several content creators that I follow, and they'll say, yes, everything is racist. I'm one of them. I'm one of those people like, yes, everything is racist. It all goes back to slavery. I just don't.
You're not wrong, but
every now and then she'll call me and she'll be like driving home, like, what are you doing? And 30 minutes later, she's like, okay, I'm gonna need you to get out this spiral. You've been talking about racism and Black people for the last 30 minutes. But I just said I wouldn't do it, and I tried to do it. So no, everybody doesn't get treated like that, Supreme Attorney.
I know, because I asked.
Yeah. They don't want to believe that someone that looks like you could be smarter than them.
Oh, they hate it. I literally had to tell somebody everything. I had to show him all the cases. Still didn't believe me. But when somebody else with less education told him, it made all the sense in the world. I was like, okay.
So I want to go back to you. Make that money, Mom. Make that money. That's
right.
Your nickname is Make That Money. But so you mentioned the brand deals. You mentioned I want to say like event things that happen. I go into for the Wicked premiere, etc. The brand deals that pay good for those 30-second spots, etc. Mm-hmm. How much was that the key to your being able to disconnect yourself from like corporate America? Because I know some people like lean into subscriptions and followers and ads on their shows, and some people do have sponsors, etc. So where's the, if you don't mind me getting in your pocket, where's the like the bulk of your income coming from?
So I'm monetized on TikTok, YouTube, and through Meta platforms. And that's why those 4 platforms equal about 650,000 followers. And I'm monetized on those. And I would say about 60% monthly would be through ad revenue on those pages. So through being in the content creator programs. I'm also in one of the specialized content creator programs on TikTok, the TV and film one. They have like a niche program that I'm in as well. And so I'm like monetized on there. And then the other 40% would come from brand deals and from any other like advertisement gigs or whatever that I'm doing that I source myself. I do not have a manager. I do not belong to an agency because I come from the school of Beyonce and Michael Jackson when they said you need to learn it first by yourself before you hire anybody else so that you know what's in your pocket and what ain't. And so I was like, okay, let me go ahead and just work my butt off and make sure that I understand where each of my coins comes from and I understand the business. That way, when I'm ready to hire people, I will be able to clock it immediately if something is off. So I would say about 60-40. And I have a strategy that I use to make sure that I hit those numbers so that I'm comfortable. But before I left, I saved about 1/4 of my salary just to make sure that I had enough cushion. And obviously, like I have the privilege of being married so that I have a home. So I'm not afraid if something don't go right one month that I'll be out on the street. But even if I'm my grandmother's granddaughter, she told me, baby, even if you marry, have your own money. So even if something was to happen, I would be good because that was how I was raised. And that's just like the work ethic that my parents, who are both educators, who also both went to HBCUs, they were like, baby, all you got in this world is your voice and your heart. So you need to use that to get your money and make sure that you're smart with it. But that trademarking, I've been able to drop the book on a couple people that have been taking my videos with that trademarking. It is $500, but it's so worth it. So if you have people that steal your videos on a daily, or you're just like, why, this random page took one of my videos, that trademarking, you send that to TikTok. Yeah. Now they got to take it down because you threw that book at them. It's a little bit different than you just reporting it,
Right, because I see that constantly where somebody's done something amazing, somebody else reposted, and then the repost gets 30,000 likes, and the original is sitting there like 4.
And I've even gone as far as reaching out to TikTok and saying, because I'm trademarked, whatever monetization they receive from that actually belongs to Make That Magic. So how do we start that paperwork? We'd love to know that. I don't play with these people because you're not playing with me. So let's play. You have to know the book. You got to know the book. And I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. Probably didn't come off as good of like trick them. That's what I mean. You got to play this game because
you meant turn them into tricks. Yes.
Yeah, you got to play this game because we can't play fair no more. Ain't no more if they go low. You go, no, I'm going to
hell. That's like the wrongest thing she ever said, to be honest. And she admits that.
Yeah. She did say that. But yeah, I feel like the road to monetization is different for everybody. Like some people get it super quick because like they just like popped off on something, right? Some people it takes a little bit longer. I would say for those people that get it super quick, they don't even have the time to learn the stuff that we got to learn.
Yeah.
So they mess up. They messing up their contracts. They not reading stuff thoroughly. And now you done just signed away something for 4 years and Disney making all this money off of you and you didn't even see that in there because you ain't know to look for it.
Right. If there's anything that I can encourage everyone that wants to be an entrepreneur, even I'll take it beyond just being a content creator. If you want to own your own business and be in charge of yourself, you need to learn to read. And I'm not trying to be facetious about that. Because a lot of y'all think y'all can read and you call words and you can't read. You do not comprehend what is being said to you. Exactly.
Yes.
You feel like, I read through the skimming. It's not reading. Audio books is a whole different thing. But I mean, like trying to have somebody say, just tell me what it says is not reading. You need to take, if it's 2 pages, it should take you 2 days.
Exactly.
and make sure you know and get a lawyer, a contract lawyer.
For hire.
There you go. Yeah, I was like contract lawyer because you do
hire.
Yeah, but
the Supreme Attorney, you are contract lawyer.
I can be.
Oh,
Let's go.
I'm gonna remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love these connections. Yeah. Make sure you understand what you're signing and don't sign and don't take the first offer given. One of the things I remember Master P talking about was how much am I worth if this white man gonna give me $1 million? I must be worth 10 or 15 million,
you
right?
Worth 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what that's the trap. So, videos on how to monetize would be great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think we've been talking a lot because the people on screen with us are putting stuff in the chat because we're not listening to them. Y'all got any questions for Michaela?
No, nobody's just trying to cut anybody off. So I think that's why we're going to the chat.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
But
no, you definitely need to make a channel called Make That Money, trademark that, and teach us how to follow in your footsteps, because I'm gonna be honest, that's the goal. I remember I got into like a professional argument in the live stream with other content creators about looking at the numbers and wanting to be successful and make money off of your brand and your channel, and everybody was like, oh, we want to just be genuine and we don't care about the money. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing. Like, why are you doing this if you're not eventually trying to monetize it to have passive income? So I would definitely like to have you back on the show, and we're gonna just figure that part out. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah, if people are telling you that, oh, don't do it, make sure that you can have the passion and do the business at the same time.
Right.
That sounds like somebody that's trying to keep you where you are. I would never tell somebody, I want everybody to make money. I want somebody to be able to take my spot and make more than me eventually. Like that should be the goal. And if it ain't, you don't need to talk to the people. It's weird.
Why wouldn't you want to make money doing what you love to do?
Yeah,
right. It's so easy.
That's it.
I'm probably the opposite of that. Actually, for a time, I did do some work for a small magazine called Black Asian Magazine, and for a time, I did do I get paid for $50 per article, which I liked it. But I also realized that at the time, I thought I wanted to become like a full-time Black travel content creator, right?
Wait,
and
Phil,
then
do me a favor. Phil,
sorry.
You have to come a little closer to the camera because your name is covering your whole face. There you are. Okay.
Yeah, but over time, I just kind of found that trap of trying to turn your hobby, your interest to a full-time gig. It's kind of like that cautionary tale. Like some people, if you like it, awesome. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm definitely one who's fit that ladder because I realized over time my quality of writing was suffering. And I didn't enjoy making travel-related content. Like before, it was for fun. It was just a hobby. Whereas, maybe passive income was nice, but just I realized that over time, the quality of work suffered. And then my real-time job was the ESL teacher in Korea at the time was suffering too. So I'm the type of person like, okay, do I want to? Would I like to make money on the side with the books? Absolutely, that's the plan. But if it does blow up, am I going to quit my job, become a full-time travel content creator, make more books like this? No. Because for one, I enjoy working with kids. I enjoy being in the classroom more than being a full-time content creator. That's just for me. Yeah. So if my TikTok, if I do monetize it, if it does make money, I'm not going to quit my TikTok daytime job anytime soon. I'd rather be in the classroom. That's just for me personally, though. I recognize the game. I recognize for you, what you do, Michaela, that's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. But I also have to say, I am going to bow out because I got to get ready for bed soon. We got school in the morning.
Okay. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming out. But you make a good point. Like everything doesn't have to be monetized. You can do something just for fun. You can have a hobby. Matter of fact, when I do a lot of like small business coaching, I ask them, and I stole this from the people that first coached me when I left corporate America. Do you want to be a Bo or a Ho? And the thing is, Bo, do you want to be BO, business owner, or HO, hobby owner? You know, a hobby is something where you might have it monetized, but it's barely making enough to break even so that whatever you're spending on it is covered by what you make on it. That's great. It's a hobby. It's fun. You kind of put some energy into it when you feel like it. A business is a business, and it should take up all your energy if you want that to be your business. But you need to treat it as such. Because I got a lot of people I know that, oh, this is just something I'll be doing on the side. It's a side hustle. Okay. But I wish my side hustle would pay for my, my house. Okay, then turn it into a business and stop calling it that. The way you talk about it matters as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that. Whole hobby owner. I'm really gonna remember that.
Yeah.
That's a nice analogy. I like that as well.
Really is.
It is. Really, to what Phil was saying, and I can understand. I write for gamersocialclub.ca. I do gaming reviews, things of that nature. I don't get paid for it, but I do get the experience. Also, for me, I enjoy more talking about games. I don't mind writing. I don't. Also, I get free games from time to time. Can't really beat that. But I enjoy my aspect of like my brand, my content, my thing like that. So I while I don't get paid for it, while I get the free games every now and again or what have you, but I do enjoy the writing, but like that's something I'm not like. That's more of a hobby where I'm not trying to see. It's not super serious. I do think like some of the doors that opens for me as far as like where I'm able to get into certain places. Like I got a badge to PAX East last year off the strength of me because of I work for an actual gaming website. I don't work, but it's freelance or whatever. But I do stuff for them. I'm on OpenCritic. Probably about to be on Metacritic, like stuff like that. It's out there with my name, my tag on it, or whatever the case may be. So they'll open some doors for me as, hey, media pass. Hey, well, here goes my credentials. I do this. It gives me access to certain things as that. But I would like for that to be more so on my content side, where that content, like I had my first taste of it this year with DreamHack. I was able to get in the DreamHack as a content creator. Like I'm hoping as my channel and stuff grows more, that side opens up more. That's where my main focus is monetizing. So I understand where Phil was coming from with that.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But it was a pleasure to meet all of you guys. So again, I gotta get some sleep. Got school in the morning. We got all these testing. We gotta do.
All right, Phil.
Bye, Phil.
Good meeting y'all. Shameless plug though, but if y'all want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and TikTok at the Blerd Explorer. I'm also, like I said, I'm also publishing the Black Travels Guide to South Korea and the Black Travels Guide to Thailand, Siem Reap, Cambodia. Both will be ebooks coming out in early March of this year. I'm hoping I will be at Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo in Atlanta in March too. So I'm hoping to get some physical books out there to sell. It'll be limited copies because limited funds and everything. So
pre-order.
I'll let you know if pre-orders come out, but it will be ebooks. I'll tell you when. If you follow me, you'll see when the books come out and drop. Again, it was great seeing you guys. It was great meeting you guys. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Phil.
Also 6'7".
First day of school. No bull. First day of school. I had some new students. I was introducing myself. The kids asked me how tall I was. I said 6'7". I've been known as Mr. 6'7" this whole time.
Oh no!
I work in the elementary school. I'm an ESL teacher for those who don't know. So I work with a bunch of American and non-American kids. So yeah, they try to get me to say 6'7" all the time.
But that just means they love you. You got a nickname.
Yeah. But it was good seeing y'all. Talk to y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
But we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping up in a little bit. But I agree with Phil, and I also agree with Make That Magic. Like I personally believe you can find a balance between the passion of your business and your brand, and the financial aspects of that. And I'm trying to figure that out because you got to do what works for you. Like what Husky was saying, like with my brand, I'm able to cover cons as press, meaning they comp me a badge and I get to interview John Boyega and Peter Macon and make content out of that, but also go do the photo shoots that I was going to go do anyway if I was paying for a badge, because I've been doing that since 2015-16. But the goal is to eventually have additional passive income. It wasn't my initial goal when I started. It was the therapy. I need to practice because I'm doing stuff with my photography business, X, Y, and Z. So use this channel to practice, use this channel for therapy and just to vent. But once I started getting some traction and I saw I could make some money with this, that became the next goal. Passion versus profit. I can go into that for hours and hours and hours. But we are running out of time, and this was such a great episode. I'm going to go ahead and schedule part 2 for this one because it's so much that we didn't even get to cover. Like, what does success mean to us as a content creator? Because as we just talked about, maybe the financial route isn't where you want to go. Maybe you want the popularity route or whatever benefits may come with.
I'm just doing this to get in Dragon Con for free. That's all I'm doing.
Hey,
there you go. That's it.
That has been one of my goals for so long. And when I finally got it in 2014, I was like, man, I am just knocking stuff off this life bucket list thing. So personal accomplishments, I'm very happy. So now I need to get the other goals to reach. But why don't everyone just reintroduce themselves and tell everybody where you can be found at on the internet? I see people are really looking for y'all on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. So go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Joy.
We'll save the best for last. Yes, you that would be you. So you can find me on Instagram and what's the other? Instagram and Threads, and probably on TikTok at Joyride08. Moment of Joy, Joy Stevens. Those are places you can look for me. If you're interested in any sort of life coaching or professional executive coaching or workshops, etc., for your job, and they need to learn how to treat people, you can find me at Joy Stevens at New Heights Academic and Leadership Consulting, LLC on LinkedIn. I very rarely tell you that part, but yeah, some of y'all need me, or some of y'all bosses need to talk to me. So Joyride08, come holler.
You can find me on TikTok, of course. Who is Charles Henry? Who_is_Charles_Henry. Also on Instagram, Charles Henry _is dope. And if you catch me at these cons this year, I mean, I'll be at Comic-Con in Birmingham, Alabama.
You're going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a kid.
Listen, you already know. I see you. I'll see you.
I'm gonna be there too.
And
you are?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
And then also,
I have a panel.
Oh,
really?
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm gonna check it out.
Good job.
So I'm also gonna be in MomoCon this year.
About time.
Yeah.
About time.
I'm gonna catch you, man. I'm gonna catch you, bro. And Blerdcon again. I loved Blerdcon, and I want to make my make my return. You know.
Yeah, I'm definitely going this year too with the Supreme Attorney. That's gonna be fun.
Dope, man. I'm ready.
All right, Supreme Attorney. I know I saw you put it in the chat, but tell everybody where to find you.
Yes, I'm the Supreme Attorney. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. My TikToks are basically like, I almost went to jail last week. I just had to keep my mouth shut. That was something. There was a whole poll about whether I was going to jail or not. I didn't go. Go me.
Oh, but the poll was against you because they was rooting for that.
We're just trying to hold you in contempt.
Yeah. Yes, judges always want to put me in contempt because the way I look, and they're not used to people barking back at them.
Mm-hmm.
And I bark back because after my first trial, I'm not scared anymore. So I will bark back, and they are terrified. Like, oh my God, if she say something, I'm gonna put her in jail. I'm like, for what? And then here we go. But anyways, yeah, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the Supreme Attorney.
Okay.
Hokage.
Yeah, I'm the Husky Hokage on everything, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Go check out my YouTube. My podcast drops on my YouTube, Twitch as well. I stream. You can text. Probably more than likely in the next 30 minutes, I'll be on TikTok streaming, doing some art creators or what have you. But I do that. Like I said, I also write for gamersocialclub.ca, Canadian website, but it's a gamer website. I've done game reviews. I continue to do stuff from there, articles, things of that nature. And like I said, you can catch me on, pretty much everywhere under the same name. So yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'll be at some of the cons. Like I said, I'll be at Comic-Con. I'll more than likely, I'm in between if I'm going to DreamHack or MomoCon because they're like a weekend apart. DreamHack is one weekend, and then MomoCon is the very next weekend. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to both, but I would love to go try to get to both of them if I can. But I'll definitely be at Comic-Con, and then Huntsville, Alabama. They have like the Huntsville Comic Pop Expo. More than likely, I'll be at that as well. So, yeah.
Do you live here in Atlanta?
No, I stay in outside of Birmingham. I'm from Alabama, so I stay right outside of Birmingham. What have you. So
That's close enough. I need you to come over and help get me past this level on Tales of Kinzaria because I'm stuck.
Oh man, okay. Listen, we can talk about that. Listen.
Okay. Okay. Oh man.
I'm mostly on TikTok and I'm trying to build this YouTube. I'm trying to get Marc to help me out with that.
I got you.
Yeah, for sure. Old Man Food and Anime on here. And I also have for my other niche, I love boxing. I have an Old Man Food and Boxing on TikTok. So y'all go follow that one too.
Wow. Okay.
Also, you say you're in Huntsville, Husky.
I'll be in Huntsville. Yeah, I'll be in Huntsville for that.
Okay, I got a work trip out there. One of my work sites is out there. But yeah, I'll be at MomoCon. I'm trying to go to MomoCon this year, and I'll be at MetroCon as well in Tampa. So if you guys out there, hit me up. But yeah, those are my main for right now. I'm trying to build my YouTube, but my TikTok is growing pretty fast right now.
Nice. And now the main event. Make that money.
First of all, I'm not the main event, and everybody has been so fun to watch and listen to. My name again is Michaela. I am Make That Magic on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, and I am the Make That Magic on Instagram. I'm whatever that girl is that got Make That Magic. I'm coming for you. And I guess coming up, I have a couple of things that are under NDA, but I would love if everybody could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Trying to continue to grow that. I'm almost at 10K on there after starting it like maybe last June. So really excited to see that. And yeah, thank you for having me. It was really fun. Good to meet everybody.
Awesome. It was great meeting you as well. I'm definitely going to make sure. I know I've seen your channel and liked some stuff, but I want to make sure I subscribe to your channel just to.
I'm about to go do the same thing now.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing the same thing.
I think we're all doing it right now.
Talk after this, making content about this very episode. I think that's going to be dope. Thank y'all for coming on the show. I feel so honored and appreciate to have so much Black Star talent, energy, power in the room right now. But this has been Blerdkast Live, everybody. Join us next week, Monday at 8 p.m. for Black People in Nerdy Spaces. Very special MOK episode, Joy. I know you got some stuff to say in that episode. So that's and then after that, on February 2nd, we'll be doing Blerd Culture Explained. And that's going to be a very interesting episode because I have a couple of special guests that will be joining us for that one. But until then, go make some money doing what you love.
I'll see you guys at Comic-Con.
Yes.
See y'all.
I get really excited.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand,
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network of all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii in a perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network of all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.